I replaced my power-hungry home server with a bunch of mini PCs, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. Between all these tiny little boxes, I'm running 34 cores and 68 threads of computing power. But here's the thing that nobody warns you about. Once you start buying mini PCs, the cables start piling up, the network switches need a home, and suddenly the clean little setup turns into a big mess. And that's exactly what happened to me. So in order to fix this, I picked up a mini server rack, reorganized everything from scratch, and now my entire Homelab runs from this one compact setup. And let me show you what exactly I did to get this working. So this right here is the DeskPi RackMate T1. This is a 10-inch rack and it costs around $119. And it fits my mini PCs just fine. Do note that this is not a sponsored video. I bought this rack with my own money. The overall build quality is actually solid. It's mostly thick aluminum with some plastic or acrylic side panels. I have this thing loaded up with network switches, mini PCs, and it takes that weight without any issues. There's no wobbling or shaking. It's pretty sturdy overall. But here's the thing that really makes this rack worth it. This rack has tons of accessories that you can buy right from Amazon because they have shelves for Raspberry Pis, a 12-inch network port panel, blank panels, cable management panels, and you could use 3D printing to really dial in this setup. Because without the accessories, you really just are looking at an empty frame. Now let me talk about the problem that this mini rack actually solves. You see, I have 3 mini PCs, 3 network switches, and heck, I even have a Blu-ray ripper. And it became really difficult to manage all these things on my desk. Because when you have 2, 3, or more mini PCs, you have all these power bricks and all these Ethernet cables laying around and creating clutter. And that's what really pushed me into getting this rack. I did not get it because it looks cool. I mean, it does look cool, but I got it because I needed a proper way to organize my home lab into one clean spot. Now let me walk you through my setup. Starting from the top, I have my network switches. The first network switch is a 5-port 10 gig switch by a company called TrendNet. This is what connects all of my important machines and allows me to run a 10 gig network in my home lab. Right below that, I have a 12-port Cat6 patch panel by DeskPi. Now this is not required, but it makes cable management so much manageable and easier to do. Instead of running cables directly to the network switch, everything routes through the panel first and then back onto the network switch. Next up, I have 2 6-port 2.5 gigabit switches, and it's by a company called RealHD. Now, what's cool about this one is that it has one SFP plus port. That gives me a bridge between 2 devices. Now, I haven't fully tested the speed and capabilities, but I haven't noticed any performance issues either. Overall, I'm getting very decent and good 2.5 gig network speeds when I'm using those switches. Next to the switch is a remote KVM called Comet. I mainly bought this because I could not get a jet KVM at the time. But primarily I have this so I can connect any one of my mini PCs to this and do troubleshooting. All I have to do is just connect the HDMI and the USB, and then I can go to my browser, type in the address, and then I can remotely control the mini PC. So basically this helps me avoid plugging into a monitor. Now let me cover what mini PCs I'm running on my home lab. Between all of my mini PCs, I'm running 34 cores and 68 threads of computing power with roughly 112 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. The first mini PC is a Minisforum MSA2. This is the main heart of my home lab. It runs a 16-core, 32-thread AMD 9955HX processor, and it has 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. I have installed ProxMOX on it, and I run a bunch of different virtual machines and Docker containers. Mostly all of my services, all of my core services live on this Homelab. Below that is the Beelink S13 Mini. It runs an Intel N150 chip, which is a quad-core processor, and it's got 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. It also has ProxMOX instance running on it, where I'm running primarily WireGuard VPN, but I do plan on deploying more LXC containers on that machine. The reason I have this machine is because I want a dedicated machine running my VPN so that if I ever break something on my main server, I still have a way to get onto my home network remotely. Besides that, I do plan on putting other lightweight LXC containers on that machine. Do let me know in the comments below what are the popular LXC containers that you are currently using. I'm mainly using WireGuard VPN. I also run the Glance dashboard, and I have pretty other lightweight services, but I'm really interested to know what you're running. So do let me know in the comments below. Now below that PC, I have the TrickKey i13 Mini PC. Now this thing is actually pretty powerful for its size. It's running an Intel Core i9 13900HK, and it's got 14 cores and 20 threads with a total of 32 gigabytes of RAM. What I'm primarily using this for is for ripping Blu-rays. I have a Blu-ray drive connected to this and everything gets ripped and added straight to Jellyfin from here. Now to make that work, I have ProxMOX instance installed on this machine, and I'm using half of the resources for Windows 11 virtual machine dedicated for ripping Blu-rays. So far, this machine has been super helpful in helping me build out my media library. I do plan on installing other services like Nextcloud on this for future use. Now let me talk about cable management, because this was a big part of making my setup look clean. For the front of the rack where everything connects, I bought a pack of 6-inch Cat6 cables. These are short little cables that are perfect for connecting to the 12-port patch panel with my network switches. These cables keep things clean and tight with no extra slack, no hanging around. It makes the front of the rack look really organized. For the back of the rack where the mini PCs and the NAS connect, I went with 3-foot Cat6 cables. They're just long enough to reach the patch panel without leaving a bunch of extra cable laying around. I mean, honestly speaking, getting the right size cables is the best thing you could do when you're building a setup like this. So let me give you some honest rundowns and some pros and cons of this device. Starting with the pros. First, the build quality. For $119, this thing is solid. Aluminum frame feels sturdy, and the acrylic side panels give you a clean look, and it doesn't feel cheap at all. I have this thing fully loaded and I don't see any wobble, flexing, or any shaking. The second pro is accessories. DeskPi has tons of accessories that you could buy off of Amazon, eBay, or even AliExpress. They have shelves, patch panels, you can even do 3D printing and get all the different, customized features that you could, really dial in your setup. The third pro is the size. This thing sits on a desk and a shelf and does not take a ton of space. If you're running mini PCs or Raspberry Pis, then this form factor is just perfect. Now let's talk about the cons. The biggest pro is also the biggest con here, and that is it's a 10-inch rack. Because everything is so compact, you run into space limitations pretty quickly. For example, I had to use 3 racks just for the network switches because there was not enough room to place them side by side. So the downside is I had to use 3 racks to equally distribute my network switches and place them properly. The next con is heat. That's because when you stack a bunch of mini PCs on top of each other, the heat from one transfers to the next and on and on. So if a PC is running hot, it's going to get hotter by getting heat from other PCs. So to combat that, I just point a fan at the mini rack and turn it on, and that usually takes care of the heat problem for me. Now that I have my mini lab organized, I'm still working on my last machine, and that will be a 40 terabyte NAS build, plus a local AI PC and a gaming machine, hopefully all in one. So make sure you're subscribed and you don't miss that one. And that's it for this video. Drop a comment below on the things you liked and share your setups. I'm really interested to know what you're running. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one.